The Knicks played at like 8 a.m. my time.
How's it going, Jason?
How they going? Now they've lost 11 of 13.
That's not bad. 2 wins.
But hold tweet time. We can start speculating. Well, we can always speculate. Frank Isola, New York Daily News. If they feel like my time in New York is over, I guess that's a conversation we should have.
Whoa!
So beyond passive aggressive. I want to reiterate this. LeBron James, Dirk Nowitzki, and Carmelo Anthony are the only 3 players in the NBA who have a no trade clause that they are in complete control of. Look, Carmelo Anthony has given New York so much loyalty, and I do respect that about Carmelo Anthony. And I do not think that Carmelo leaving and Phil Jackson leaving makes tomorrow the greatest day in Knicks fans' history. But I do think after Kyle Korver got moved to the Cavs and the Hawks got like a first-round pick, please, by God, it's Carmelo Anthony. We should be able to get like a first-round pick. For the first time in like 4 years, we'll have like a first-round pick. I'm kidding because we drafted Kristaps Porzingis. This is important because it's destined to be a messy breakup. There is a 0% chance he gets a new contract with the Knicks in 2018-2019, which is so far away. And look, when they ask me, when people say like, you know, would you rather have Phil or Carmelo? I'd still keep Carmelo over Phil Jackson.
I know.
Because what did Phil Jackson do, Francis? Well, he went to one of his like close reporter friends that he's always had a good relationship with, and the reporter wrote a story. That's obviously Phil Jackson's words that are pretty scathing towards Melo. Francis, the Clippers, the Lakers, and I think I know the Clippers are one of the teams that Melo said he'd be okay going to.
Interesting.
Doc Rivers definitely speaks more of the mindset that can maybe get a player to follow team strategy. Do you think the Clippers?
There's one banana boat there, so we know if he goes to one of the banana boat members, I think that's a phenomenal fit, just at face value. I don't know how they'll need to make the adjustments. Do they need to get rid of Blake Griffin? Yeah, probably.
I don't want Blake Griffin, though.
Well, I don't know if you want Blake Griffin, but Blake Griffin in the New York Knicks is a fit, you know, by star quality, right?
Yes.
But I think the difference is Blake Griffin, I don't think you bring him there to the Knicks and you build your team around him. I think Blake Griffin is another piece. The same thing can be said about the Clippers. I don't think that fixes some of their problems if they go forward by bringing in Carmelo Anthony. It's a different weapon. It's a different arsenal. If you get Chris Paul and Carmelo Anthony on the same team, you should be looking at pushing higher up in the Western Conference. I just don't know. Right, this is what I just feel like Carmelo Anthony should be moving into a team that he is a seamless fit straight away, and they're already pushing for a championship. But there's not a lot of those out there. It's not going to fit into a Golden State Warriors. Is he going to be able to fit into the Spurs? Would they even look for a player like him? You got to think.
I'd be blown away if Greg Popovich wanted to make a move, and I would take any Spurs player ever in a trade for Carmelo, because I just know how the Spurs play basketball and the culture that they'd be coming from. Any of those, Tony Parker, but then there's no way it would ever happen. But just like the idea of like, wow, a guy who will play system basketball, will follow whatever your coach will tell you to do, because it's the culture you're brought up in. The Clippers make sense given the coach that they have there, and I know Doc Rivers has become now an overrated coach, but when he won the championship with the Celtics, he was the hottest coach on the market and helped in turning, not long ago, the worst franchise in American sports around. It was like 10 years ago. They were calling the Clippers worse than the Browns in terms of terrible
they were
sports franchises. So while the Clippers have now underperformed given the roster that they have year in and year out, the Clippers, I'm not sure if they want someone like Carmelo Anthony on the team. It's just a matter of if he does give the Knicks the go-ahead, it will be a messy breakup, and unfortunately, no one's going to remember him leading the league in scoring for the Knicks and getting them their first, and being a major reason why they won their first playoff series, like in my lifetime. Not really, but since like 2001, with the Knicks in that 2012-2013 year, 2011-2012 year. It's just time. And it's bound to be dramatic, which is great for the news and the media. We're talking beefs.
We're talking taking talents.
We're talking the first game back in the Garden, Knicks fans being as terrible as we are, will boo the man. I wouldn't, but I don't know if I'd stand and cheer for him either. this is good from Melo, even if it's a passive-aggressive statement in the way that it's, we need to talk about the future. The fact that he said that to the media instead of every single time it being, my heart is in New York. It's not you, New York, it's me. We know. We are aware.
This is a conversation that would be a lot easier if Kevin Durant hadn't already moved to the Golden State Warriors, because it was almost like...
Durant?
What's that? No, not because I would think he was going there, but it's because that move just completely obliterated the kind of the way these superstars are supposed to think. You know, it's like the loyalty. We're supposed to stay where we're going to stay. We're going to try and win a championship for a team that, even though it might not happen, like Carmelo Anthony is another player that, does he want to be on that same list? Does he want to be next to his banana boat friends like Chris Paul, as a player that was very talented but couldn't win a championship or even given himself the best possible chance? Carmelo Anthony, out of all those players we mentioned, he's given himself the least possible chance by being on the hardest team to try and win with. So does he now make a move that's just selfish? That he just really wants to move to a team that he can possibly get a good chance of getting some silverware? Does he want to do
there's
it?
no way he'll go, I've still wanted this trade forever. Go to the Hornets and give me Kemba Walker. Just give me Kemba
But you're thinking as a Knicks fan. Let's think about it from Carmelo
I'm
as a
thinking
second.
as I like Kemba Walker.
Yeah, that's a Knicks fan. You like Kemba Walker. So what about Carmelo? What about Carmelo? What about what he wants?
It's like an ex-girlfriend. It's not my problem.
Where do you think he should go in terms of his thinking?
Here's what I know. If Melo does get traded, like, Phil Jackson will tweet that he unfollowed Melo on Twitter. He'll be like, my relationship status with Jeannie Buss is as follows. I've unfollowed Carmelo Anthony on Twitter. I still will not comment on Derrick Rose. The Knicks have lost 11 of 13 games. We are closer to the 13th seeded Philadelphia 76ers than we are to the 8th seeded Charlotte Hornets. But as I tweeted earlier, and thank you to Tommy Beer for that stat, as I tweeted earlier, please continue to tell me how great of a season Derrick Rose is having, and how great of a pickup Brandon Jennings is having, and the fact that we spent $50 million on Courtney Lee and he doesn't start. But they do call Ron Baker Ron Burgundy.
Nice. I like that. What about Carmelo Anthony joining Dwayne Wade in Chicago, and then you guys find a way to get Jimmy Butler?
Give us Dwayne Wade. There's no way.
I'm just trying to
By the way, I love ESPN Trade Machine. ESPN Trade Machine says a successful trade would put Blake on the Knicks.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Dwayne Wade on... I'm sorry. Blake on the Bulls, Dwayne Wade on the Knicks, and Carmelo in the Clippers.
But what does that do for you, the Knicks? You're giving away a score. But what is that going to do for your future?
It fits the mold of signing slightly past their prime guards to round out our backcourt.
I love how you've just accepted the system that's put in front of you.
Like, here's what I know for a fact, and people joke about this. In about 5 years, when Chris Paul's like 37, 38,
and you take him to the Knicks,
I guarantee you we'll give him a 1 year, $20 million contract. I promise you.
And ladies, if you're out...
Just like how Rudy Gay will inevitably be a 76er in the next week and a half, little does he know, Chris Paul in 5 years will be number 3 on the New York Knicks. I guarantee it. It's like the Men's Warehouse commercial.
If there's any ladies out there, single ladies watching TYT Sports, and you're looking for a husband that you want to take on...
0.9% of our demographic is women.
Because the reason I'm saying it is because they want someone like you to be equipped in life. Because any sort of like systematic problem that hits, like financial crisis, you're just like, babe, it's what happens. We'll bounce back 4 years. We'll have the same problem again. We'll go broke. We'll bounce back. It's fine. We accept it and we move forward.
I'm going to start a GoFundMe campaign for my first divorce. Jeez. Comment below! What can the Knicks get for Carmelo Anthony? I cannot stress you this enough. If the Knicks get less for Carmelo Anthony than the Hawks did for Kyle Korver, I'm going to run my head through a brick wall and just completely neglect covering the NBA. I will become a permanent Spanish League basketball analyst.
I would love that. What a league.
I will find the next Nikola Mirotic.
We will find the next Gasol. Brothers,
all of them. Just start seeing me screaming at Andres Iniesta, come play basketball! You're quick with your feet. All right, like, favorite, and subscribe. It goes a long way. At Francis M. Maxwell, host on Instagram.
At Francis M. Maxwell, real Maxwell, Francis M. host, Instagram follower.